You're listening to Music Tectonics.
Welcome back to Music Tectonics, where we go beneath the surface of music and tech. I'm Shaylee Ankenbrook, Music Tectonics' conference planner at Rock Paper Scissors, the PR firm that specializes in music innovation and music technology. We've got one more report from NAMM, the annual trade show for musical instruments, gear, software, pro audio, and event tech.
Eleanor here. We're back on the trade show floor at NAMM in Anaheim. And I am at, is it Dualo or Dualo?
Dualo.
Dualo. I'm at the Dualo by Intuitive Instruments booth, and I just had to stop by because this instrument is like nothing I've ever seen before. So please introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit more about Dualo.
Hi, so I'm Bruno. I'm the CEO of Intuitive Instruments, and
I'm Sergueï, the product and marketing manager.
Welcome.
So we're very happy to be here at NAMM. Last time we were here, it was like 6 years ago. So we are introducing the instrument that is already a big success in France. We have sold thousands of units in France. We are almost unknown outside the French-speaking world, I would say. But yeah, this is already a big success in France, and so this is the first time we introduce it in the United States.
Fantastic. So what we're looking at is a futuristic wedge with two sort of fingerboards with hexagonal keys that are lit up in different ways. So some are green, some are red, and it looks a little bit like a honeycomb. And it also just looks very touchable.
Yeah, the main idea of our, the main innovation of our instrument is the keyboard. We have a patented keyboard that we have invented that has been recognized by such musicians like Herbie Hancock. You heard about Herbie Hancock.
Of course.
He said that this is the smartest keyboard ever invented.
Yeah.
So the idea is that we put right next to each other the notes that sounds well together in the sense of music harmony. So we made a mathematical model of the music harmony, and this is the best representation, the best access to music harmony.
So it totally reinvents. Instead of following exactly the same keyboard format, white and black keys, you've just started over from the beginning. Just to
imagine you never saw a piano keyboard. You have never heard about black keys and white keys. You only heard about like guitar, and this is the first time you see a piano keyboard. This is exactly the same. So it's really a true new instrument by itself because it has a new keyboard that have never been invented before.
Wow. All right, I think we have to hear something. I think we have to hear what it can do.
So instead of looking at notes horizontally, like on a piano, we look at the keys like vertically. So basically on our keyboard, when you play notes vertically, you always place a chord.
And as you touch those hexagonal keys, they're lighting up red.
Can play chords really each time, and then the keyboard, the lights of the keyboard show the scale, so the notes that sound good to make a song. So if you play on the lights, you just follow the scale. And you stay in tune.
So you're following a path that just makes logical sense immediately.
Yeah, the idea is that the lights show you the path through the keyboard, but the notes doesn't change the place. You really have to understand that this is not a controller and a software. This is really an instrument. It has been conceived and designed has the mind, keeping in mind that it is an instrument, not a controller and a software.
Right.
So if you know where the C is, your brain have to know that the C will be exactly on the same place. So based on this really cool keyboard that have been adopted already by many teachers, for example, because they have a lot of music learning structures in France that have already are equipped with our instruments. Yeah. So we put inside everything you need to make a full song. So you have 150 sounds inside and 600 presets.
Wow.
So you have 3 buttons and a screen on the top of the instrument.
So you can see all of the different sounds in a menu.
Yeah, so Sergueï is going to change the sound now, and he's going to have like So he liked what he did, so he's going to record it.
So I hit the central button of the instrument, and then I play. The instrument waits for the first note to record. It's not like a software, a classic software.
Right.
So I don't have to rush. When I'm ready, I'm going. Then I hit the central button again, and it loops. Then I do the same with, I don't know, a bass. Okay, let's record. And then I can record loops of multiple lengths. So now I'm gonna go with the keyboard and record keep chord. Well, for example, then I can improvise with the saxophone just by following the lights because I'm on the scale. Then I can play with my loops I recorded. So when I hold the central button, I can see the loops I recorded. So I can just mute, for example, the drums and the bass when I release the button like this. I can prepare to the bring back of the drums and the bass. And so I can also add my own sounds inside. So there's a little software that comes with the instruments. So basically you can add up any wave samples you got. So here I have acapellas, for example. There you go.
Wow. I wish you could see what I'm seeing, which is all of the lights are really responsive, kind of like mapping what sounds have been played and what's next. I mean, not that it's guiding what you're doing, but that you can see clearly like what your path could be and then improvise on that. That's really cool. So when I was here before, I saw you had some really interesting educational, kind of gamified educational elements as well.
Yeah, we have this. Before we show that, just one thing to say is that we really work a lot of trying to understand what are the barriers when you are a beginner.
Right.
When you are a beginner, there are a lot of things that make you feel like you're not going to be a musician.
Yeah.
You're not confident and so on. So we put many things that takes a lot of time to explain, but not a lot of time to get used to.
Right.
To make you feel like, okay, so only 3 minutes and I can do this. Okay, so let's take more time and more time.
So you can start playing immediately.
Yeah, and this is like a very good circle. You like what you do, you get satisfaction. You get satisfaction. You want to play more.
You come back and you do more.
Play more.
Yeah.
You like what you do, and so on and so on.
So instead of those long hours studying theory or practice, you can feel like you're creating from the beginning and just get better and better.
Yeah. So that was a creative part that makes you feel like you're a musician. And if at a time you feel like you don't have any more music imagination, and you need something to train you, something to accompany you, then we have what we call the Do Game. So the Do Game is 200 tutorials that are in French and in English. You have 2 levels of difficulties. You have a beginner and expert, and they are we cover more than 50 different musical genre.
Wow.
So the idea is not that you're going to reproduce a song that you know. The idea is to give you the key to improvise and compose in a specific style, giving you all the code and music vocabulary you need. So basically we have a map.
Yes, that's really captured my attention, that each genre is envisioned as a country or a county, so they're neighboring each other, and it really feels like following a game map is what it looks like, that you can follow a path to different goals, But then you can see what's adjacent. You can see what's next door.
Exactly. If you want to play trap music, for example, then you will have to unlock before the Dirty South and the Miami bass style, because the trap music is the drum of a Dirty South and the bass of your Miami bass style that you with a upper tempo.
Wow.
So you, as far as you progress inside the map, you unlock new style, and you earn stars. And if you have 3 stars on a music genre, you also earn the sound bank that comes with this music style and so on and so on. So maybe Sergueï can show you, make you listen. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
For example, here I have downloaded the funk tutorial inside the instrument. So when I launch it, there's a historic part where the teacher explains you the origin of the style, and then you have a musical game, just like Guitar Hero or the Simon.
Exactly on the first beat.
So here you hear what it says. So the instrument shows you a musical pattern to reproduce, and then it's your turn to play.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And when you do it correctly, you go on to the next instrument.
That's it. The
You
bass
understand?
and the drums and funk always have a crucial
Then you move on to the bass, then you move on to the guitar, to the keyboard, whatever.
Nice.
And so you learn how to play basic song of style this way.
So you learn a little history, but then you also get it in your fingers. You get some muscle memory about how to do these things. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to invent an instrument that is at the same time your creative tool, and also the tool that will bring you from the beginner to the expert. And the idea is not that you're not gonna be like an expert of the Dualo. Our goal is to make you a musician, to know how to compose, to know how you compose a drum with a bass and so on and so on. And we are introducing new products here on the NAMM show. That this is the Dualo Touch is self-autonomous instrument, so it has 8 hours of battery life. You plug directly your headphones on
and I
or
saw
a
that you
speaker.
can play it on a stand or even on a belt hook, so that it's really something you can perform.
Yeah, but I can tell that most of our customers use them in their couch. It's really the tool. The tool after a big working day, you take your instrument, and if you only have 15 minutes, you're gonna make a song. You know. So, but there are some things that we wanted to add. So we are introducing a new version that is like a flat board with only one keyboard, but it's the same as the double keyboard. Just we join the 2 keyboards into one.
So we have the same hexagonal key pattern that is also looks very, very touchable.
Exactly.
and bright lights to tell you, to sort of give you a map of what's there.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have something that is really cool, is that we have expressivity.
So Sergueï is moving his fingers on the keypads. They're really like jelly-like. They really squish when you touch them, so there's a lot of great tactile feedback.
Yeah, what we did is that we reproduce all the intelligence we have inside the Dualo Touch on an app that is working on Mac, PC, iOS, Android, and even on Raspberry Pi and so on. So it's a really open
flexible
and flexible new framework, a new application on top of this controller. And so yeah, many of our customers, concurrent, they're using very hard touch.
Yes.
And this is the difference between a controller and a software, and what you want for an instrument. If you touch a piano, then you
there's it's dynamic.
Tactile feedback. You have an haptic feedback, so it cannot
and it's
be
not in one direction. It's not like a computer keyboard that's just you touch on or off.
Exactly. So this is why we wanted something really smooth.
Yeah.
You can enter the materials, and you have a really sense of touch. And on top of this, we are also making The same thing with the MPE, like multi-polyphonic
okay.
expression, but will look like more on the keyboard, because if you're already a keyboard player, then you don't want to learn a new layout of the keys.
So this offers some of the same features, but for somebody who's already comfortable with
the
a
piano keyboard, yes. The idea is that if you already know the keyboard, then you're going to use the keyboard version. But if you don't know about how to play the piano, then this is the smartest launchpad that you can find with our hexagonal keyboard. So, and the idea is that we're going to launch it on Kickstarter, on a Kickstarter campaign in September. And because we are really concerned about how is the planet now, and I don't know exactly the word in English, but all the ecological things. So we are going to make an object that will have a pure version with only the electronic, and I would be able to. You will be able to use it. It's going to stand on the table and no problem. And then there will be an object that you're going to finish yourself.
So kind of a kit, something. Where
you will be able to buy it as a kit that you will assemble yourself, or as a pre-assemble. But of course, it lowers the price if you assemble it yourself.
Yes. And is that part of the fun for people who like to tinker?
Exactly. And as I said, we have many schools in France, middle schools, music schools that are using our Do Touch now. And this is one of the things that they ask for. We want like the students. They build it.
Right.
They build it.
Really understand it from the ground up.
We have a lot of traction on the education technologies market. For example, we are dealing with the region of Geneva in Switzerland. And hopefully in January there will be 20,000 students that are going to use our instruments. Because they are going to fill the 50 classrooms, music classroom with our instruments. So there's going to be a Kickstarter on September with the idea that you finish by yourself. You can have wood, you can have cork, you can have metal.
Whatever feels good to you.
There are going to be a lot of accessories, what we call the parasite accessories, that you will be able to print on your 3D printer if you have one, or to buy on our website. But still, the idea is that if you can produce by yourself some of the things, then less transport.
Right, less transport. So, and if you can make what you want and not get a kit that's full of things you don't want, then that's just less wasteful of resources. Well, how can our listeners find out more about this? How can they stay in touch so they can join that Kickstarter when it launches?
Everything will be on our website, so Dualo, Dualo.com.
Fantastic.
We have a special page coming soon, like the Dualo.com/coming soon page, and just subscribe to our newsletter and or join us on the social network, and you'll be up to date.
Great. Thank you for joining me, Sergueï, Bruno. This has been a real pleasure, and I hope everybody checks out this mind-blowing new instrument.
Thank you very much, Eleanor.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to this special episode of Music Tectonics recorded at the 2022 NAMM show. Catch up on all our NAMM episodes on your favorite podcast app. If you like what you hear, hit subscribe. We have new episodes every week. Did you know that you can dig deeper into all our episodes with the show notes at musictectonics.com? That's also where you'll find the latest about our annual conference and a sign-up for our newsletter. Everything we do explores the seismic shifts that shake up music and technology, the way the Earth's tectonic plates cause quakes and make mountains. Connect with Music Tectonics on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Bye.
You're listening to Music Tectonics.